Welcome to Flow of Miracles Reflective Moments. And today I'm talking again about balance. And this time, not about the general balance, but about balancing you versus the other person. I get a lot of questions about this because we are all so connected and we all have relationships in our lives with romantic partners, with our children, colleagues, friends, and family. And while it would be wonderful if all those relationships are healthy and flourishing, often it takes a bit of work. So today we talk about some reflective questions on how to make sure that your bond is actually healthy and what you can do if it's not. And of course, you can also do the Tree Unity Energetic Bonds series if you feel that you need to release some unhealthy parts. So let's talk about first how we bond with other people. When we're young, we're bonded usually to our parents, and our friends are usually people that are near us, kids that we visit in the playground or at school or at university. And the older we get, the more we change how we bond and with who we bond. Our lives get busier, and we'd like to bond with people who have the same kind of morals, who have the same kind of priorities, who might be in the same life stages as us. And that means some of our bonds fall away, some need to change. So let's ask first the first reflective question. Is there support in good and bad times? If you balance yourself with another person, it is wonderful. If you have somebody you can have a lot of fun with, it will definitely recharge any type of relationships. This is why having dates in a long-term romantic relationship is so important. um, and usually that's the easiest way to balance a relationship and recharge it. But we also need support in bad times. If you only have fair weather friends and eventually in your life you hit a hard spot, it is incredibly lonely if there's nobody there for you, nobody to support you, nobody to lift you up, nobody to comfort you. So it's so important to understand that if you balance yourself with another person, you need to know that there's support in good and bad times. And it's especially important if you are a very supportive friend and you're always there for other people's bad times, but when it's your turn, you feel that there is actually nobody there for you because you're seen as the strong one or the tough one or the capable one. So it's so important to surround yourself with people you have a balanced relationship with. So the second reflective question is, how do you compromise? Everybody has different needs. So when we balance a relationship, it means that we need to balance other people's needs with our own, other people's wants with our own, other people's dreams and desires with our own. If you only have money for one holiday, you need to tend to agree on something with the person you're going with. If you want to go out and have dinner at a certain place and the other person wants to go to a different restaurant, you need to balance that. So that's with small things and good times, but also with tough times. How do you balance your need not to have a heavy conversation with a friend's or partner's need to actually have a deep conversation about something that's bothering them? How do you balance your own workload with the workload of your colleague who is asking for your help? Inevitably, in all relationships, there will be conflict. And a balanced relationship means that you need to think on how do you compromise. If you are a people pleaser, if you're self sacrificing, it looks from the outside like you have a good relationship because everybody's happy with you. But inside, there will be resentment and anger. Sometimes even in families where they feel like they are never heard and their brothers or sisters are the golden child and always get listened to, it is so important to reflect on how you compromise. Are you able to also stand up for what you believe in and for what you want? Is the other person also able to give you a fair shot at that? We can't always give each other what we want. We can't always give each other what we need. But in a healthy balance, sometimes one person gets their way and the other has to wait. But the next time, it's the other way around. If you're always the one losing out, your relationship cannot be balanced. And sometimes a good compromise means that nobody is 100% happy, but everybody is satisfied. So take a hard look on how you compromise with your partner, with your child, with your work colleagues, with your family, and see if that is really balanced or if you need to stand up for yourself more. Or the other way around, if you're a bit of steamroller, maybe it's a good idea to sometimes do it another person's way. And that will keep your relationships balanced. It will keep everybody happy and in harmony because we all need to be listened to. We all need conflicts resolved. We all need to be heard. And naturally, this goes into the last reflective question, which is how is the give and receive cycle? I actually did a column about this because give and take, in my opinion, is a really bad way of saying this because if we give something, it should be free, no strings attached, and we definitely shouldn't be taking from other people. We should be receiving. Sometimes friendships can become unequal. Maybe you're really supporting another person going through a hard time, they're depressed or they're grieving. And after a while, you're noticing that you're not receiving anything back and it's starting to drain you. Maybe you are a natural, very giving person and the other person is not, and you're starting to feel that the situation is a bit lopsided. Maybe you feel that you are giving too much work for too little compensation at your job. It's very important to look at the give receive cycle and to see what you can do to make things more equal. Of course, if somebody is going through a really rough time for a year or two, they will be less likely to give you something. And if you have a solid foundation of love and care and support, you remember when they supported you. But if you don't have that and things start to drain you, it's a good idea to see where you can scale back so the relationship can survive, or where you might have to admit that it's too much for you to handle and you're not a good fit anymore. So it's very important to see that the give and receive cycle is balanced. You see that especially in romantic relationships. If you're doing all of the work and there's never any reward, what is the reason to stay together? This is why people say love is not enough. You also need to be able to solve conflicts, and you also need to be able to have a healthy give and receive cycle so that both partners actually receive and both partners get to give. Stopping your giving and scaling back is not always the best solution. That means that if you're scaling back, you might still notice you have resentment, which means you've been giving for too long. Or you might notice that the other person gets really angry because they don't want to hire a therapist. They just want you to listen to them vent every single day. Or you might notice that your partner gets really angry because they don't want to do half of the housework. They actually want you to do all the work or more of the work. So it's tough sometimes to renegotiate the give and receive cycle and to understand that if you just scale back, it might not actually give the results you hope for. So it's also very important to ask for what you want. In a lot of cultures, it is not a good idea to ask. It's very important to give this kind of hints. But if you have a problem with the other person and they don't know it exists because you won't ask, then you are just causing more problems for the relationship. So you can also check if you feel that you're not receiving enough, you're not receiving enough help back or support back, or you feel that you're always second place, to actually open your mouth and communicate what you would like to receive. Because a lot of times it is difficult for us to guess what is the perfect gift for the other person, what is something they truly like and desire, because we are all different. And what we like to receive when we're sick, when we're grieving, what we like to receive for gifts to celebrate is completely different for all of us. So let's give each other some grace and take some time to actually communicate and understand that if somebody is not willing to compromise with you, then you do not have a healthy give and receive cycle, and somebody is just taking advantage of you. And it's a good idea to stop that on your end because you cannot control another person. So it's not possible to stop it on their end. So I hope I gave you some good ideas on how to actually work at balancing you and the other person. And of course, there will be more balancing and reflective moments. So don't forget to like and subscribe.